Before we can Pono up a sequel, we got a dish on how Johnny Tsunami came into our lives and what we love about it. And of course, that goes for the entire intro was silent. Well, I guess it's time for me to start again. Sorry, folks, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties on the VCR today. I am here with my co-host Ian Klink and Steven Zangief Anderson, and we are here today to turn Shang Tsung into a soul surfer, to turn Chosen Taguchi into a computer nerd, and to let the famous Jet Jackson steal the show, because this world needs Johnny Tsunami 3, Rise of the Silver Surfer, and we're here to give it to you. But before we can Pono up a sequel, we got a dish on how Johnny Tsunami came into our lives and what we love about it. And of course, that goes for everyone watching in the live chat as well. Was it love at first Laserdisc, Vital VHS? Hit us up in the chat and let us know how Johnny Tsunami came into your lives. So, Steve.
Yes.
When did you first get Tsunami?
I first got Tsunami. Tsunami. Last night. Last night was my first time.
That's awful. You gotta stop this verbiage thing. Like it just sounds terrible, Chris.
It's one of my favorite aspects of the show. Probably 95% because of how much you don't like it.
I'm here. I'm getting like I'm not even a part of it, and I feel dirty. Like I hate this.
Oh my god! I'm gonna try and keep it clean with the Tsunami jokes, but there will be a few that might cross the line.
Yeah. So like I was saying, I got Tsunami'd last night. And
it was sorry, it's funny to me now.
And I don't know, man. I've been doing this whole Disney Channel December.
Yeah, you've been strong the whole month.
Yeah. And I've never seen any of these before, so I've just been jumping in fresh. It's I don't think this is one of the better ones so far. I just got to say, for me. But
I know you were expressing this last night when we watched
mm,
this,
uh
and we'll dive into that. And I may be the sole defender here because of Ian's mixed sickness, Mickey's mixed sickness here.
right.
But all right, I'm gonna venture into the troubled waters. Ian, where, why, when, and how bad did you hate this? Because I know
About
that.
10 minutes ago,
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's
give or
fresh,
take.
folks. It's fresh up in there. All right.
Look, I still stand by. Brink is one of the worst things that has ever existed, come into existence.
Yeah.
This wasn't that bad.
Right?
I
Sneaky
look,
good.
Is it Hot Dog the movie? No. Does it come
People don't
close?
understand what that means. I get you, so I
Does
know
it
what
come-
you're saying.
Does it come close to Ski Patrol? No. Is it okay? Yeah, it is. I have to admit, it's not bad.
I would put it above Snowboard Academy for whatever that's worth, if we're talking ski movies.
I'll
all
give you
right?
that, but it's definitely under Hot Dog the movie.
But all right, just to make sure that you are a valid ski connoisseur, Ski School 1 or Ski School 2?
Oh, Ski School too, man.
Okay, all right, I respect that.
Yeah.
I'm the same.
Yeah, no,
Ski School
Ski School 2 went far beyond the mounds of where it needed to go. And I appreciate it for that.
Agreed. Steve is freshly Tsunami, but I think he's a Ski School virgin, so I may have to.
I know. I've seen Ski School. I just put up 2. I agree.
Oh, you did put up 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
I'm just kind of
Yeah.
surprised. We've never really chatted about Ski School.
That's true.
That's really crazy considering how much that movie means to me and the fact that we've been like best friends since we were 11 years old.
In fact,
But,
next month we're doing food movies. All right, we're doing Hot Dog the movie. We're doing Hamburger the movie. We're doing that's just
Good
what we're
Burger.
doing.
They just did a Good Burger sequel, so we're out there.
We do Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Ooh.
Let's do food. All right, that's our
Well,
new
you know
thing.
what? I think we're going to take a couple weeks off, but we might have to come back for some food February because that sounds pretty delicious. I'm not going to lie. I was down for Ian wanted to do Sex Education Month, and I was so down for that too. With like,
Well, but
Porky's
that's in when is that?
I don't know. There's no
Well, we're gonna make
Yeah.
it. We're gonna make it.
Yeah, I don't think it's a
no
real
month
thing.
that begins with. Oh, you have to wait till September. Yeah, Sex Education September.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna do it before then, but
Hey, I'm not waiting that long for Porky's. Damn.
yeah, no, we need to do our Porky's episode. I'm done.
Well,
with
the
this crap.
people here, if they are here, they came for Johnny Tsunami, so we should get back to the topic at hand.
No, they did. Nobody came for Johnny Tsunami. Nobody came for Brink. Nobody came for Smart House. Nobody came for these Disney.
They
movies.
are gonna come late. You watch 2 years from now.
Yeah, you know
those
what's
will be
funny?
Some of the top rated.
Johnny came lately like Johnny Tsunami doesn't know how to ski for crap. That's
I was thinking about it today, Chris. It's funny because you guys could have done anything December. You guys could have done De Palma December. You guys could have done
Ian would have come so hard.
You guys could have done like
doing what?
De Palma
December. That would be
Oh,
a wet dream.
Get out
You
of
guys
here. Give me High Mom any day, De Palma.
Right?
Let's do
You guys
this.
could have done dark Christmas movies December. You guys could have done so many things, and you went with Disney Channel December.
Chris, your
Sometimes-
white Christmas poster absolutely should be a movie. I don't know why, but that is a movie that went past everybody at the studios. It's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, Scarface 2, White Christmas. Like, just that's what we
Genius.
need. That's all we need. Why not? Thank you. I appreciate that. Follow Pop Culture Punk for mashups of the like. So there is some love for Hot Dog the Chat in the movie. And Angie Saunders.
Hot dog the chat.
Hot Dog the Chat. I'm sorry. Hot Dog the movie in the chat. Good Lord.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me today? Also, Angie Saunders in there says, I wonder if I'll ever watch a movie from VCR. Well, thank you so much for tuning in all these weeks. I promise, Angie, no more Disney Channel December. We've done it. This is it. This is the final installment. I'm surprised you haven't seen this, though, being a Cobra Kai fan, as I know you are, because this has the great Yuji Okamoto, aka Chosen Taguchi from Karate Kid 2 and Cobra Kai. Also has Thomas Ian Griffith's wife, Mary Page Keller. who's great in this. This has
Oh wow.
I don't get into the stats on this movie. Some Joe Bob Styles kind of scorecard here, but also Whiskey 41 in the chat, who's the great Alex Bonafonte, saying Hot Dog the movie is a tour de force, and how about Dead Alive? Maybe wait for October. I
Ooh.
absolutely love Dead Alive. I would love to do a whole early Peter Jackson run on the show. Bad Taste, Dead Alive,
Bad
Meet
Taste.
the Feebles.
That'd be great.
Go. Bring it all on. Fuck this Lord of the
Bad
Rings nonsense.
Taste,
All right.
baby. Oh man.
Yeah, right. I'm telling you, Steve's gonna love Bad Taste when he finally gets around.
Nobody, everybody loves him as Lord of the Rings and King Kong and all this crap, but what?
No, they don't. King Kong is trash. King Kong is trash.
But watch Bad Taste, and that is Peter Jackson, people.
Yeah, his earlier
The
stuff
OG,
was cool.
The OG King Kong is great. The 70s one I'll even take over the fucking Peter Jackson one. And I know
dirty man. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, what?
Oh, come on. You're gonna tell me
I don't
anything...
defend it, but you're sitting there gonna defend the 77 Rick Baker in a gorilla suit movie?
Yeah, over the fucking 2005 masturbatory fucking piece of shit that I saw CG artists jerking themselves off for 5 hours, it felt like, in a theater. Come on. King Kong's a 90-minute movie.
The mega death scene was a bit much. Yeah, sorry.
King Kong's a fucking 90-minute movie, not some Heaven's Gate horse shit. All right, come on.
So Johnny Tsunami.
Yes, get into Johnny Tsunami. Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
So I have loved this movie for a very long time. I don't see anyone in the chat telling their origin story of the tsunami. But this is another one, folks, in the Stiles is Exiled in Wisconsin series. It happened to me often, and the year was 1999. My tips were probably frosted. My shirt choice was probably identical to the way I dress now. And I was.
You had a shell necklace, didn't you?
Hookah shell necklace?
Probably fucking did. I probably fucking, or a shell bracelet or some kind of, hemp
Get
bracelet.
out of here. I'm done with it. I'm done with this guy. I can't.
Yeah, horrible. I will openly admit, I hit every bad 90s trend on the.
You had Jinko jeans on, a chain wallet, a freaking Hawaiian shirt, and some nerd-looking hat.
But when I was in Wisconsin, I had access to DirecTV, and I had access to the great Disney Channel original library of films. And I loved every one of them. The good, the bad, the ugly, Cadet Kelly, Motocrossed, Brink, all of it. But I'm telling you, the one film that rose above them all for me was this, Johnny Tsunami. It's the greatest. First of all, they give you the great Lee Thompson Young, who is the most underrated child actor of the 1990s, bar none. I don't care what anyone fucking says. That man would have gone on, and he would be winning Oscars today if he was still with us. It's one of the saddest things ever to me that he is not. So rest in peace, the great Lee Thompson Young. The famous Jet Jackson was amazing. And so you have all of that charisma. I mean, he almost steals the show in this movie. But on top of that, you have the wonderful Yuji Okamoto, Chosen Taguchi from Karate Kid 2 as the dad. And you know what? He's not Tackleberry. He does his own thing with this. And I'll tell you what, in the pantheon of these, they've got great parent actors. But this is the one that, again, just sort of rises above. Even Jet Jackson's dad was great. It's like that guy. He was in everything.
But it's because, but you know what? I know I said this the other time, but it's because the acting isn't that Disney crappy acting that we have now. There was still class to it. Yet still.
Well, they got
says really, as he swirls his wine glass.
Yeah, they got really great. Again, they got really great people to play the adult. Any of the adult actors they bring into this are truly great actors. On top of that, or whatever, always like a really great surprise. Like every one of these that I've watched, I've been like, oh my god, this person's in this. This is crazy. The child acting is pretty terrible. Like as a general whole, on all of them, but I guess it's pretty consistent. And
it's always the bullies.
Oh, or the love interest, one or the other.
For me, it's always the bullies. Always have that. What's up, Brad?
Yeah,
It's like in the history of high school. Did you ever see that guy?
No,
that acts like that. I mean, we had bullies, but there was never a "What's up, Chad? What's up, Hawaii 5-0?" What's happening, Volcano Boy? Like there was never that guy, and I don't understand why they have to be this guy and the bully.
It's very
Writes,
one note. Everything
yes,
about this, but one of my biggest issues with this movie is that it's very paint by numbers. Like it's very obvious.
You're right.
Every part of this movie is so cliche that it's ridiculous and it
You're
meanders.
you're
Like
absolutely right.
yeah.
But
I kind of like
to
that.
me, yeah, well, first of all, because of that, now here's the interesting thing. Because this is a movie that's made for television, very strict run times, very strict forced act breaks, it sort of helps to paint by numbers and work in these cliches that don't need so much explaining and so much setup. Now, you're right. There are times where it kind of meanders. It maybe drags a little bit here or there. But I think that what makes it, to me, head and shoulders kind of above the rest of these movies is that like the acting is just a little bit better. The writing is just a little bit better.
The production is significantly better. Yeah,
the production is significantly better throughout. It's got pretty decent ski and slope footage or whatever you want to call it, mountain action footage.
I mean, every time they cut away to the kid, it's obviously a 45-year-old 6 foot tall.
I know, that's the one thing. That's the one thing I actually appreciate. I was writing in my notes that it is so easy for them to have gone in like a green screen and have the kid actors on the surfboards, but they did long distance shots. They made it like, okay, I know it's a 65-year-old dude, but it works,
Yeah, it works. It does. It's funny, but it works.
It's not Point Break, but it's still cool. And I love the surfing thing. I mean, and come on, I don't care what anyone says. Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa, Shang Tsung is the grandfather, Johnny Tsunami. That's the greatest grandfather I think I've ever seen in anything.
I will give you that.
That's the grandfather I want. And I love my grandfather. He was awesome. But I want that one. Like, I want the surfer, cool, long hair, like, inspirational. Like, that dude is Mitchell Goosen, like, 60 years down the road, and I fucking love it. Like,
there was that moment. I did love that moment when, the kids escaped and they go to Hawaii. And the dad's calling.
So ridiculous.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
This movie sets off my bullshit detector worse than any of those other DComs.
That's what I'm saying.
Love it more. It
does.
How
do we get here? Oh, we snuck on a military airplane. Yeah, that gives you confidence. Right. But the fact that the dad's like, send them on this plane now. He's like, I'm not going to.
No,
I could, but I won't.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. It's somebody else's
ridiculous.
child.
Yeah, it's so insane, but I love it. So we should do a general plot recap. So for those of you that haven't seen this masterpiece of a film, it begins in Hawaii, where our hero, young Johnny Kapahala, is surfing it up, hanging out with his grandpa and his surfer buddies. He's winning surfing competitions. This kid likes to surf, and he's very fucking good at it. So what happens?
Can I just interject one thing real quick? It kind of really bothered me that this kid who we follow through the entire movie is not actually the titular Johnny Tsunami.
Okay, yes. That is something that dogged this franchise when it came to Sequel Town. Mm-hmm. And I think it is really weird that it's not his name, but it's named after his grandpa. Which may influence Pitch Time. It may not. We'll see. If anything deserves a prequel, maybe it's
Pitch Time.
It's Pitch Time's coming. 14 minutes away, folks. But we should do a general plot recap again. Opens up, the kid is Johnny Kapahala. He's kicking ass, winning surfing competitions, loves his grandfather, got tons of friends, king of the world until his dad says, hey, I'm setting up the computer thing at this prep school, and we're moving to Vermont, to the snowiest place on earth, and it's going to be freezing. It's going to be awful. You've given me Airborne vibes. I love this. I am very happy already.
I hate this, but at the same time, too, 39-year-old me is kind of like, that is a dream. Like, this kid's just dumb. Vermont's amazing.
To me,
the culture shock of moving from Hawaii to Vermont must be, it's insane.
Which clearly is Dover,
Oh yeah.
Colorado. This is not Vermont.
No, it's definitely not.
It's fucking Punxsutawney, PA.
Pretty much.
And
so
again,
what happens, kid?
Oh,
Because
Go ahead.
these mountains are in Vermont. Get out
I
of
was
here.
gonna go ahead and say with the paint by numbers plot line here, the father and the son could not be further opposite. The father really just wants a big thing, a reason why he wants to move here is so he wants his son to disconnect with his grandfather a little bit and realize his potential academically and fall into line with the father's, way of thinking and how he would rather him, pursue his future.
I
It's kind
want
of a
my
big
son to
point of
get
it.
focused on business and software and the
Yeah.
big bottom line real world. I don't want him farting around with this surfing stuff like my father did. He wasted his life.
Yep.
You can't
Yes.
support a family on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
very, very much vibes of that. But although not as one note about it as Tackleberry is David Graff in Brink, which again is a great performance and I love it. But this to me is a little bit more subtle. Like he's still a nice guy. He's still a good dad. He's not just this like I'm arch and stuck, I'm a fucking stick in the mud.
Man.
But then we get to the school, speaking of sticks in the mud, and everyone at this school is blonde, everyone at this school is rich, and everyone in this school is named Brett. They're all wearing
Brett,
black and
Kyle,
yellow.
Todd,
Yeah, Brett, Kyle, Todd.
Dan.
They all have three last names. They're super elite and very, very, very
Byron.
white. And so they razz this kid. They don't like him. Again, you give me the airborne vibes. Hey, like you're into surfing and get out of here.
But like day one, like he walks in the room, and I love this in movies. Before the kid can even sit down, it's like, oh, where'd you get those shoes? Hawaii. It's like
Well,
like
he walks
Sunburn.
into a
sick
prep
bird,
school.
Brad.
He walks into a prep school with his Hawaiian clothes, his Hawaiian shirt and his whatever, and everyone else is in, the khakis and the blue blazer and the tie or whatever. So he comes
Which
in
he should
dressed.
be beat up then. I mean, I'm just
yeah, exactly.
not
Yeah,
condoning it, but
Oh, we should give the man a fucking award for being so well dressed.
no,
I mean,
no.
what's wrong with Hawaiian shirt?
No, conform. Quit.
Yeah, he comes in
Quit
dressed
breaking the
like
rules.
Chris.
Obey. Buy cigarettes. Like, knock it off, kids. Like, just spend money. Like, let's stop trying to be original.
Remember, kids, your teacher says to buy cigarettes and spend money.
Buy cigarettes and sell out. Like, get.
Right.
Like.
Oh, I thought you were going to say buy cigarettes and sell them at an inflated profit.
Hey,
which is
live your
another
dreams.
economic model. Hey, you're creating $50 of economic value for every $10 spent. That's all I'm going to say.
Look,
So
Karen
yeah,
and Michael did. Why can't Johnny Tsunami?
so Johnny's selling smokes at school in the boys' room, right? Typical
Right.
first day type of stuff. And these kids razz him because he's from Hawaii. But then in order to get him real good, they invite him skiing. Yeah, that'll teach him
That'll
to be
teach
new.
you, bro.
They'll teach you to be new and move here. So of course,
basically, though, that's the thing. I will give you this. You know what I do like about this movie? When the kids harass him, I keep saying John Tsunami. What's his name in the movie?
Johnny Capahala.
Johnny's.
Yeah, Johnny. So it is Johnny. Okay. What I do like about Johnny is he doesn't fight back. He actually always plays it pretty cool.
He does. That's
Like,
true.
like
One time he fights. One time.
the one time,
Yeah,
but for the most part, they'll say something. He's like, "Yeah, I just wanted to get to know skiing. Thanks, man."
Yeah.
Which
He
is
just lets it
totally
roll
the
off
right
his
way to
back.
do it.
Yeah, he does. He handles it pretty well.
He does.
But again,
he actually handles it well.
But Mitchell Goosen vibes. Then you give me a little bit of the Karate Kid vibes with Lee Thompson Young coming in with this wisdom, and you also have Robin Shu, or not Robin Shu, but Kerry Tagawa, with Miyagi vibes, the spiritual thing, and then you have like, hey man, but snowboarding's cool. I'm going to teach you what's up. And this did tap into this piece of '90s culture that was like, all right, snow sports had completely split in two, right? This is like the skating and rollerblading thing, the skateboarding and rollerblading. Like ski people like went to fucking country clubs and they, had turtlenecks and they sipped hot chocolate in their LL Bean flannels.
And snowboarders were extreme. Yeah.
No. I'm just saying
Yeah.
snowboarders were smoking pot on the chairlifts and like more zen and going like a little bit more of that surf philosophy. So
what's
like
changed?
the general pitch of this movie is really actually strong. That it like taps into a couple things that like yeah, there is a little bit of like surfboard, skateboard culture in snowboarding, and it's about as completely opposite of what ski culture is about.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's alone kind of enough to make a movie. And they did
This
pretty
is
decent with it.
this is a flat out snobs versus slobs,
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
dynamic. And you're right, Chris. It's not a bad idea. It's executed a little, I don't know, a little ridiculously. Like it's executed in the sense that they've segregated these slopes, this entire ski this mountain or whatever. They've
Which is
taken
a
it.
This
classic
mountain
trope as
isn't big
well.
enough for
Yeah.
the
Even the
both of
both. Well,
us.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the
exactly.
snowboarders
Yeah.
on one side and the skiers on the other, and of course the snowboarders. I think it's actually from Ski School 1 or 2, where it's basically the poors are on the one side of the mountain, the
Yes.
riches
Yeah.
are on the nice side with the good runs, and
Right.
hey, why can't we just let everyone ski where they want to ski
Yeah.
or snowboard where they want to
And
snowboard?
the crux to this plot is essentially that his father really just wants him to be one of what do they call him again in the movie? They
The
call him
skies
something.
versus the urchins.
The
Yep.
skies versus the urchins. He doesn't want him falling in with the urchins. He wants him to be a sky. He thinks it'll be better for his future. But he's an urchin at heart,
He
regardless of whether
is,
it's
and
on the beach or on the
he's having
mountain.
a hell of a
Yeah.
time at his new school in Vermont until he meets the great Lee Thompson Young, who is like one of the coolest characters in any of these Disney Channel movies, and shows him, hey, it's not that bad here. Hang with the public school kids, and when you get big air, we'll give you this ridiculous hat, and then you'll be one of the team. And
Mm.
I love it. I love the camaraderie of it all. And of course, at one point, which is weird, and you commented on this. It's weird that they like give him a best friend and then immediately like your best friend's moving away.
Yeah, what the fuck
And
was that? Why?
you're
Why?
upping the stakes for this kid that like if he doesn't make it with this race and earn some new friends, he's gonna be fucked because Sam's leaving and shit. He's up Shit's Creek.
There was no
His
reason
dad
to
doesn't
do
want him
that.
hanging with those public school kids.
Yeah.
He needs some friends in his hoity-toity prep school. And
Although,
the
but
best
also
way
again, I will say this. I also like the fact that these film what I'm enjoying the most about these early 90s Disney or 2000s early 90s or late 90s whatever the time period is when we're talking about.
Yeah.
They're if they were done today they'd be so woke. And I hate using that word. It's a little overused, but it's so true. Like what I like about this, there's literally two friends who meet each other, and there's no like we need to push an agenda this way or push an agenda that way. Like there's just
Yeah, it's very natural. It's like
it's just like,
yeah.
hey, you like skiing? Yeah, I do too. Story continues. Like there's no like thing in here. It's like
The fact that they moved to Vermont to a basically on top of a ski slope of all really well-to-do rich kids, and the whole idea of race or
has
ethnicity
nothing to
or
do with
whatever
it.
has never actually brought up. The closest they ever get to doing to mentioning anything like that is calling him Hawaii, I guess.
Yeah,
And
like,
which
that's
is the
really
Jamaica
nothing.
technique from Cool Runnings. Yeah, like
Yeah,
we
which
want
is
them
really
to be
nothing.
they're vaguely racist-ish. They can say Hawaii and we know what they really mean.
Right, but you don't
That's the
feel
one
like
thing on
there's
Disney
any.
Channel is like kind of like
Mm.
why you do this?
why you
The Hawaii thing, it's like, I feel like you're just putting, you might as well just blur out, I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't.
Yeah.
But so when his best friend is moving away, what do? Of course, they run away to Hawaii by
This is where
sneaking on a
this is
military.
where
This is where it gets,
yeah.
real, like,
This is where
hard
it
to
falls the
believe.
fuck apart for me. Yeah.
It does. It really does. But what I love about it is that the great Shang Tsung, in all his infinite wisdom, with all his souls, he says, I'm not sending these kids back home until they decide they want to come home. And maybe the greatest act of grandparental ridiculousness in the history of the Disney Channel. And I'm here for it.
I
These
really
kids
am
surf.
too. I love this.
And then you get like, hey, Lee Thompson Young was teaching Johnny Kabahala about, the slopes, and now he's going to teach him about the waves. And you get a little bit of that. Hey, it kind of goes around, comes around a little.
They
You
didn't.
took
They didn't
my
need to.
licks, you take yours.
They didn't need to put this in at all. What they needed to do was just have the grandfather come out there to help these kids in their time of need. The fact alone that they absconded, like or whatever, that they ran away from home, chartered a military flight
Yeah,
to Hawaii
it's
from
true. The
Vermont.
grandfather just should have shown up with a
Yeah,
jacket on.
yeah, and it would have
Yeah,
saved us
yeah.
some time. And like this movie needed more time for the ending of this movie, which I know we'll get to. But the ending of this movie is so anticlimactic that like it's all builds up. It's a
Oh,
snobs versus slobs, like storyline, and you want these, and you have the bully, and you have this kid, and you have the love interest that was with the bully, and it's so obvious where this should go, and it goes there, but it only goes there in the last 8 minutes. And
you
the stakes could not be lower. At one point, the bully is like, first of all, this kid does not have rights to the mountain. He doesn't work for them. The fact that they could like change the policy of this entire ski resort based on two children making a bet is ridiculous. And then
oh
the fact that the kid has nothing to do with him, I don't want to race you, until the grandfather tells him that he'll give him his surfing medallion, which should mean nothing to this kid, which should mean nothing to him. I have a little medal that's with a surfboard on it that you could have if
to be
and then
fair.
yeah.
To be fair, the villain is not interested in the medal at all until he sees how much it means to Johnny Capahala. Then he's
Is
like,
that
all
true?
right.
Does it
Yes.
really?
Yes.
I
He's
don't
like,
know.
no,
He's-
Grandpa,
he-
no, it's not that important. We'll call it all off. And the kid's like, all right, I'll do it. Like, with your stupid little
do it.
medal.
Dan
I don't know if that's even
I'll wipe
Either
my
way,
ass
yeah,
with your
right.
fucking
Stan
medal.
Darsh.
Yeah.
Stan
So, yeah, there's some
Darsh.
Stan Darsh vibes for
Yeah.
sure.
But every
Um,
ski movie has Stan Darsh vibe. That's why like
You're
that
right.
episode of South Park is so true.
It's
I mean,
so perfect.
it is.
Yeah.
Well, do we consider Better Off Dead a ski movie?
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, Better Off Dead, Hot Dog the movie, Ski Patrol. I mean, basically what you're missing is Porky's 5 set on, a ski resort mountain. That's the only thing we're missing for this world. But
Oh, yeah. And it would have had some like real sleazy title too, like, Porky's 5, Titty Mountains or something.
or not
What
Meatballs.
was that,
I meant, did I say Porky's? I'm still on my
Yeah.
Porky's fit. Meatball. Meatballs
What-
5 is on a ski slope starring Will Forte.
What was
Oh
that
my
ski
God.
movie, Chris, that they are in? What was that ski movie that they did in like the 2000s, I think, or whatever, that comedy?
Stone Cold or Out Cold?
Out Cold.
Out
That was
Cold
it. Yeah,
with
yeah. That was
Galifianakis.
Yes, that wasn't bad from what I remember, but maybe I'm but it's been a long time.
If it doesn't
there
have
is a
Dean
film.
Cameron in it, I don't count it.
That's a good point. There's also a film by the name of Snowboard Academy with Corey Haim and Jim Varney, and just for that fact
Oh
alone,
gosh.
it is
Wow.
worth the
Really?
review. It's not a great movie, not
No.
by any stretch, but it's not terrible. It's no Dream a Little Dream 2, but it's also no Dream a Little Dream 1. It's right in the middle. It's like Dream a Little
Anything in
Dream 1 and a
Little
half.
Dream 2?
You just
There's
said a lot.
very
My
little.
brain has to catch up for a second. Hold on. Okay.
For those
There's
of you
see, that's a movie title. Catch Up the Movie. Where's that
Catch up the movie.
one?
Oh my God, yeah. Dream a Little Dream 2. Yeah, for those of you keeping score at home, that film is just awful.
There's
It's
nothing
really
to do with
sad.
the first one to begin with.
No, and the first one's
one
great.
is incredible. First one's
Yeah,
incredible.
first one's a great movie.
But it is pitch time. We should briefly cover a film called Johnny Capahala Back on Board, which was made around 2003, I think it was, or early 2000s on the Disney Channel. Doesn't quite have the same spirit and fire as the original film, but it's a thing that happened. So that's why this is Johnny Tsunami 3 that we're pitching and not Johnny Tsunami 2. But maybe it'll be Johnny Tsunami Pre. Maybe it'll be a prequel on the rise of the OG Silver Surfer, how the real Johnny Tsunami
The real Johnny Tsunami. Yeah.
got his name. But Gold's Code has a different idea in the chat. So Gold's Code's pitch is Johnny moves to Ohio and meets Mitchell.
Oh,
Together, they join forces to beat a new and more intimidating preps. It's Johnny Born. Wow. Gold's Code is on a hot streak. When you're hot, you're hot. And this man is on fire.
Sean, go read a book. Go to the library.
No, Sean, you're perfect.
Go.
Hotter than black leather seats in a Las Vegas parking lot. That's what Sean's pitch is. And another man on a hot streak of killer pitches, Alex Bonafonte, Whiskey 41, says his pitch: Ski Lodge MILF Tsunami, an adults-only film. Plot synopsis is exactly what you're picturing because you, the reader, have an absolutely filthy mind.
Yes.
Well, goddamn, I can't promise you that I wouldn't not watch that film.
Starring Stifler's mom.
If they,
Yes.
yeah, oh my God, yes. If you put Patrick Dempsey in it and somehow figured out a way to make it
With
in
you
1988,
are
it would have been the
so-
perfect film.
Chris, I love you, man. You're our brother, but you and this Patrick trying to get Patrick Dempsey to go back to the Loverboy days. He'll never do it.
It's his
No.
loss.
The only
it's
reason
our
this
loss.
world doesn't have Meatballs I summer job is because of that man, which is why he is an enemy.
He needs
I
to
want
rethink
that
his
Blu-ray.
ways. You know something? I know he's watching. Patrick, come on.
Release
A little bit of love.
release
Patrick-
Release the Dempsey cut.
the Dempsey cut. Like,
Patrick Dempsey, friend of the show.
Yes.
all right, I do have a pitch. I do have a pitch. Though.
All right,
All
Ian's
right.
got a pitch. All right, what do you
Yes.
got, Ian?
Pitch me, Ian.
All right. So it's set today.
Okay.
And it is 10 years after Johnny actually was at the Olympics for snowboarding.
Ooh.
As he got his big break, he cracked his ankle and finished last at the Olympics, right?
hmm
So now Johnny has gone down that path. We've seen it before, but and I don't know how, but we can make it a little bit better, right? It's not that he's drunk and just, like, I mean, like basically he went down the path of following like in his dad's footsteps or something, right? Like,
Oh, he's boring. Yeah.
yeah, he's a teacher.
Yeah.
Or like he's teaching, he's doing the
favorite.
job that he doesn't want, but he's okay at.
Yeah.
Really wanted was that. All right.
Right.
He's a teacher, or like he's teaching.
Yeah, exactly. Teaching's fun. But so as he's there and he's in, let's say, actually Colorado, so that it makes sense for the setting.
Okay.
He on the side, every now and then will try to get back on the board, but he can't. And you mix a little bit of, he has a student at the school, right? Who is kind of in the same boat, moves from Hawaii or California or whatever, and is now here. And he's also a surfer. So now Johnny needs to kind of get back in the groove to help train this kid. So you got kind of a Karate Kid-esque thing going on, or Mighty Ducks kind of thing.
Ooh, I like that. The Mighty Ducks Game Changers show was so fucking bad. I hate
it
to
was
say it.
absolutely
I hate
terrible.
to say it.
Yeah.
I really love the Mighty Ducks, and that could have been so good, but instead it was just.
I did not watch it.
Yeah, good. You don't have to. Don't even bother. It's
I'm
terrible.
so ticked off about D3. Can we address this? There's lots of things that need to be addressed in this world. No one
Right.
ever talks about how we all got shafted.
A Mighty Ducks 3 with
We all got
barely
a
any
stick in
no
the
Emilio.
goalie
Yeah.
from D3. That
We
poster
all-
lied to us. It lied to you, Steve. It lied to Chris. It lied to all of us.
Mhm.
We all took the D and the B when they released D3. That's all I'm going to say about that.
But anyway, I digress.
Otherwise, I'm going to talk about D3 all night. God damn it! I have a lot to say there. So
Which
I have
isn't
to-
a
I have to
bad
force it.
movie. Like that's
No, it's
the
a better
problem.
movie than
It's
this.
good. It's just that poster lied. to us.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to disagree there. D3 is not for me a better movie than Johnny Tsunami because Johnny Tsunami lives up to near the fullest of its potential. Like, yeah, it could have used a little bit more of a ski-tastic ending sequence,
Yeah,
but they had
Could
to
use
use
a lot
commercial.
more.
They're on a,
No,
they're on a strict
come on.
runtime.
They could have done better with this, man. Like I couldn't believe that it was like that race at the end of this was whatever. I'm not gonna go.
You sound like Dirk Diggler at the Adult Video Awards. Like, these movies we make, they can be better, guys. I'm gonna keep rocking and rolling. You guys keep trying.
I
okay?
just thought.
No, I agree with Steve. They've had this great moment where they're hanging off the mountain.
Yeah.
There's like a really good action scene with
Yeah,
Toby the patrolman.
Right.
that guy is a good extra.
But like that goes on for like 10 minutes, and
Yeah.
then at the very end, I got
That's true.
I mean, Heavyweights had a better ending battle than this movie.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Heavyweights
Yeah.
had a great ending battle.
But-
How is that like a bad measuring stick?
I'm saying like even Heavyweights, a movie that you would have thought would have had maybe a crappier, approach or something. Like, you got to sell these movies with the ending. That's the key.
Yeah.
I mean, the ski challenge at the end always has to kind of be the showcase. It's the opening Bond moment. I mean,
they did a much better job of this in that Brink movie. I'm just saying, like, for the ending,
sad
they
to
did
say, and I hated Brink.
Yeah, but they did a much better job of it.
That's just because I hate anything roller skating. So
yeah, well, Chris has done that to you.
Those are the best movies in the history of the Disney Channel, right there. So I can't speak an unkind word, really, of too sincere.
So I'm done talking to you.
Thrashing? What about Thrashing?
You would support that movie.
Yeah, who wouldn't support Thrashing?
Josh Brolin doesn't even support Thrashing. Get out of here.
I feel like he dressed as like his Thrashing character for Halloween or something recently.
He did.
Come on.
He actually is on board with that movie now.
Yeah, dude. Everybody's having more fun than Ian Klink is doing this show.
So what is that?
I love this show.
I like the idea of doing like a prequelish kind of thing with the actual Johnny Tsunami.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like how he got that medal, how he won that. Like they could really.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. It would be a bit better to do that, and then you get a little bit of what Disney wants more nowadays, where because what year would that be? Like 1940s.
I guess so. Probably, I guess.
Probably.
So you'll have a little bit more of the diversity kind of arguments that are going to happen around that time period. Or
I mean, he looks so goddamn good in this. It looks like he must have had his kid when he was 11 years old.
Yeah.
Like in fact, he's a grandfather, and this is crazy.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. But I will say, yeah, and the prequel thing interests me, but I would want it to be kind of like a little bit more of a hardcore version, like an R-rated. Obviously, it's not going to air on the Disney Channel, but like literally, like what turns this guy into like the ultimate Zen surfer dude? He was in Hawaii during the 1940s. He saw some shit go down. There were American bases there. There's fucking Pearl Harbor and shit. Like,
I mean, yeah, he could have a real
down.
Yeah,
he probably enlisted. He was probably in the 442nd, and you know something? He probably saw some horrible shit that just made him want to fucking surf and be zen and be at peace. And there's an interesting story. I want to see that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the Francis Ford Coppola world of Apocalypse Now. We got the surfer. He's part of that. What's his name? Robert Duvall's.
Yeah. I love the smell of sex wax in the morning, Bono.
Yeah, he's on that squadron, and so in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And there's a surfing contest in the Philippines.
No.
Right? And there's where so now we get some diversity, we get some really interesting Operation Dumbo Drop kind of stuff going on.
Oh, we get some.
That's another great Disney movie.
I want just a little bit of Deer Hunter in there, some psycho shit. Some dude's fucking.
But you want some Russian roulette? Like,
yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Some dude's juggling grenades, son of a woman style, and one gets away. And bang!
This fall from Disney, The Deer Hunter. Dude,
Ow!
That's Mao. You're like, what's wrong with you?
Why can't we go back to when Michael Cimino was great? Oh, that's who directs it. Bring him back, folks.
You sick man. But that actually would be kind of interesting, having literally a certain. I know this is supposed to be a snowboarding movie, but no, it doesn't matter. Tsunami. Let's get an actual surfing movie out of it.
Right. It wouldn't matter if it was snowboarding or surfing or whatever.
Yeah, the second one was skateboarding. So or like outdoors, like. Those type of boards that you ride on outdoor shit, I don't know.
Can I ask you a question about the second one first? Does anyone come back?
Yeah, I mean the main kid comes back. I don't really remember honestly. I watched it once when I was in this phase a few years ago. I was like, I need to acquire every decom that I can think of, and I just started buying shit online. And some of it was like from other territories in the world, and that's why I have a region-free Blu-ray player.
Right.
I know, nerd alert. I got Johnny Tsunami and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get that sequel because I never saw it, and then I watched it once that like barely held my attention, and I was like, oh, what's that?
That's fair.
I don't think Yuji was back, but I could be wrong.
It's about skating though, skateboarding.
Yes, it's about that those kind of things you ride through, like dirt trails, those type of skateboards with like the slightly bigger wheels. I don't know. The waves of the forest, or it wasn't great. I was gonna say that it wasn't the greatest thing ever. There was no thrashing. There was no gleaming the cube. It was not the ultimate in skate movies the way that this film is the ultimate in surfing snowboard combination platters. But
this is the best combination movie of snowboarding and surfing there ever was. Yeah,
with the slop, the snobs, angle into it there.
I love a good one of those movies too. I really do.
I mean, I would totally watch a movie where he's just this really cool snowboarding instructor, and he's teaching this ragtag group of public school kids how to fucking prepare for whatever the tsunami games.
Oh, that could be interesting. You go with the Riches versus the Bories. You got the kind of inner city kids who, for some odd reason, to get public funding, they have a certain sport, and so the kids sign up for skiing, and again, they get so good that they end up, which maybe that is cool running. Maybe that is right. That's basically cool running, but it works. Cool running works. I mean, that's true. But you get Johnny, who's now their coach. Because again, my story, he deals with his cracked foot.
Is that Mighty Ducks? Fuck, that's Mighty Ducks.
That is Mighty Ducks.
No, it's cracked wrist. Oh yeah. Oh no, that is
Yeah. Damn it.
Disney's
okay.
got everything.
It's okay. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Those are good movies.
It can be Mighty Ducks too. Well, maybe Johnny Capahala moves back to Vermont to take care of someone in the family or something.
Grandpa.
And Grandpa, right? Of course. And then people are like, "Yo, fucking Johnny Tsunami's back. You were the local legend, man. What happened?" And again,
he's not Johnny Tsunami.
Well, he's Johnny Tsunami. When he gets the medal, he becomes Johnny Tsunami.
Oh, so Johnny Tsunami's like 007.
Johnny Tsunami's an idea, man.
Yeah.
And that's what the spirit of Camp Firewood is all about, folks.
Yeah, Johnny Tsunami is James Bond. He steps into that like, okay.
Johnny Tsunami, he don't hold fellas. No, I mean, that's cool. So, because we keep certain streaks going on the show, and I feel like one that's been broken through DCOM December is we haven't done any Nick Cage versions of this. So, like, who would Nick Cage play? Why? Well, I'm just saying.
Who would he play?
Things, yeah, if you're like, Nick Cage wants to be in this movie, he doesn't care who you cast him as. Just who does Nick Cage play? Does he play the headmaster of the school?
You just want to acknowledge that we changed Grandpa.
You just don't even acknowledge it. So just dress him the same way and have him
just be Grandpa. Just be a Hawaiian.
Grandpa, I missed you. I could eat a peach for hours.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I mean, who would he play? What kind of ridiculous question is that?
Actually, you know who he is? He is the crazy army buddy of Grandpa.
Yes, that would make sense. Yeah,
when he was the surfer, so he was part of the group too.
Yeah,
right? Which actually is kind of funny because Nick Cage is Francis Ford Coppola's nephew, so it works. He was part of that group, and now he's coming over to Vermont to help or to start a new job or something like that.
See, this is what I call tsunami cinema, folks. That's
he'd probably do it.
Right
the best part is about Nick Cage. He'd probably do this movie. He could probably get him on board.
Do this movie.
He did say he's looking for about 1 or 2 more movies.
This is it. The next 2 of these.
Get Eric Roberts in there too, and just package.
He'll do anything.
Roberts would be good. Eric Roberts. This would be a good Eric Roberts kind of thing. He's in that kind of group.
He'll do anything.
The headmaster, or he could teach. He could be the hoity-toity ski instructor, or the dad of the.
Oh, sure.
Or whatever the guy who owns the mountain. There's a lot of things.
You do like Eric Roberts as a villain. He is kind of a good villain.
Exactly.
He could be the guy who owns the mountain and bets it makes a bet with Johnny Tsunami that his
who is rich enough to bet a mountain? Because the couple of movies have done that. Who just owns a mountain?
So yeah, okay. Eric Roberts is rich enough to own the mountain, but Johnny has the metal, and he's like, "Yo, I'll put up this worthless hunk of metal against your $1 billion mountain."
Everybody wants that fucking metal.
Okay, Standarge.
Yeah, and Eric Roberts is like sweating. He's like, "Oh man, I want that metal so bad. Oh,
God, I want that surfing metal. Oh, I've never surfed a day in my life.
That would work, actually. I mean, in a weird way, like that actually would work.
But you know, I do want to again give this movie some credit for being just a little bit more well written. Like it does some things.
Dialogue wise, it's more well written.
Yeah, it's
dialogue wise. Yeah. And even like plot conceit, like even the things that are ridiculous are like, okay, well that does speed things up. Like when the
slows things down. Everything slows everything
like when
down.
the grandfather's like, oh, blah blah blah, Brett. He's like, how did you know my name? Like lucky guess. Like that's like, okay, it's ridiculous that a kid would tell his grandfather about the person that's bullying him, but it like, okay, it speeds it up. Like, grandfather, this is Brett. He's been bullying me. Like, blah, blah, blah. Well, hi, Brett. I'm Johnny's grandfather. But, you know, it's like, all right.
True.
I mean, this movie stops dead in its tracks, though, for multiple main characters to have the same conversation with other characters that they've already just had with previous ones. The father has to stop and talk to the mother about the son, then talk to the son about the son.
Now, to be fair, though, this is not. This is made for 13-year-olds.
All right,
it's not meant for us at the not us in the Maestro universe of Netflix where we're trying to figure out what the crap this thing is. You know.
Well, yeah, because you know all the 13-year-olds, all the 13-year-olds are like, yes, a scene with just two adults talking. Oh, this is what I came here for. Not a story about kids having fun. Yeah, give me a 10-minute scene about the father and the grandfather. Now, I will say I actually do like that scene. Not for just this reason, but also because
if it was just that scene, I wouldn't have any issue with it. It's just there's a lot of those that are littered in here.
Yeah.
And again, I'm gonna keep complaining about the movie. I just gotta call you out on when you're talking about how well the the writing is.
I didn't say it was really incredibly well. It's just a little bit better.
Dumb.
It's a little bit better than the average DCOM. But I could have used a scene where Sam's father is like going off on the tsunamis, right? On the Kapahalas. He's just like, yo, what the fuck? My son meets your son and all of a sudden he's running away to Hawaii and your fucking grandfather won't send him back? Like, this is fucked up. We're going there now.
I know that was kind of a part of like let's just put this.
Instead, he just keeps like sipping his coffee, like, well.
Yeah, he's
boys.
Yeah,
Careful, some more of this cake. This cake is really good.
Right. Just gonna hang out here for a while.
He's in the military. I will thumb kill you if you don't bring my son back now.
Yeah, he's very cool about it.
Yeah, ridiculously calm.
Cool for a parent.
Like, yeah,
especially for a military.
A little bit
parent,
more like anxious. My son is missing.
Mm-hmm. You think so?
The military dads, they're not taking shit. Like on that level.
I'll send your kids back when they're ready. Oh, sorry, the police are at the door. Right? I gotta go. Get out of here.
Oh my god. But you know, somewhere in this movie there is just sheer magic, and it is just something about it's just so much fun to me. I love it. This is like one of those ones I gotta watch at least once a year just to get like myself in the kind of the right frame of mind. To zen out, to zen up, whatever you want to call it.
All right. Zen up, yeah, that's what they call it.
Yes, clearly.
Did you say once a year?
At least once a year I have to watch
Johnny Tsunami once a year.
At least, if not more. It's great. It's like Airborne.
Stiles,
Airborne I watch once a season.
Lots of things about you. I know things that people would pay me money to know about you for as blackmail, but I in no terms whatsoever ever knew that Chris Stiles sits down once a year to watch Johnny Tsunami.
I've always suspected.
Yeah.
You're the most fascinating man I know.
It doesn't surprise me.
Certain movies have what I like to call chicken soup for the cinematic soul. And this is just one of those movies. Airborne, If Looks Could Kill. We've all got them. I know you've got Up the Creek, Ian. I know you've got Porkies and Meatballs. I know Steve's got anything with fucking Brendan Fraser. And those are like your chicken soup for the soul movies. Like, I'm having a bad day. I want to feel a little bit more like Back to Me. Boom, you pop in this movie.
When I need to feel good, I pop in School Ties. Like, get out of here.
But fucking school ties, you bastard. Hey, you know something? Those were the stars of tomorrow. You got Ben Affleck, you got Matt Damon, you got Randall Battenkoff, you got Chris
That
O'Donnell,
is impressive casting.
Amy
But
Lowe
It is.
fucking Kane. Yeah, that's a goddamn, you damn right it's an impressive cast. That's a great cast.
Mm.
That's a quality film. You know, that was back when they tried to make films for young people, not just movies. So like, guys,
Yeah.
we're gonna try here. And yeah, the people were like, no, we want like, Encino Man or whatever. And not for bad reason. Encino Man's incredible, one of my favorites. Great Encino Man VCR in the backlog, folks.
It's just funny.
But-
This one, I mean, it's interesting. As we're kind of also wrapping up this. This was a time capsule in Disney's repertoire that I hope Disney recognizes. I mean, like honestly, like we're all
I hope
getting
they try
old.
and do it. I hope they do it again. I hope
Well,
they have
but
another
yeah, but what I'm
renaissance
saying-
of DComs.
But what I'm saying is, there's time periods of Disney that they have that they recognize. I mean, there's the the early days. There's the golden age with like Cinderella. There's the the bad years where it's Merv the shopping cart kind of movies. There's like there's this period from like 1995 to like 2005 of like Disney content TV movies is really an interesting group. I mean, not to get all academic about it, but to study it, this is an interesting period to study for what Disney did and how these movies were. And
this was their renaissance. And you know who stole the show from them? I hate to say it, but I'm pretty sure it's the Hallmark Channel. Now Hallmark is like, we're cranking out original movies non-fucking stop. And you know something? A lot of my friends are like addicted to them. They watch all of them and they're great. And they're like, oh, this movie's fucking 10 out of 10.
I guess this would be very similar in the sense that they have just a stable of really good actors that they'll like rotate in and out of these like very mid-budget, like to low budget, made for TV movies.
A little bit of Lifetime in that too.
Yeah,
it's like we're not using Meredith Baxter Birney, but we're using Lacey Chabert every time.
Right, right. And they just crank them out. Yeah. Huh.
But this was a time period where there wasn't streaming. It wasn't as easy to get. So they could rerun these movies and you could catch them. That's how I was talking to my wife. That's how she watched these. They just kept rerunning Smart House every, 4 days.
Oh, they run it 4 times a day.
So I do hope Disney, like Bob Iger is not going to just forget these, and obviously they're not because they're still on Disney Plus streaming.
Well, I mean everything's on Disney Plus streaming that they've ever had, but they
not Willow.
Not Willow, no, it's true. Yeah, I wonder if they'll come back to these. I do now that I've actually done this Disney Channel December with you guys and watched some of these. I'm kind of curious to see if they'll revisit any of these properties or IPs or ideas or what.
I mean, you don't have to redo them or sequelize them. Do new ones. Do more. Just keep throwing stuff out there. It's spaghetti.
I've been telling you, we didn't do it on this, but my boogity idea.
We'll do boogity one of these days.
Disney is sitting on a multi-million-dollar IP property for their Halloween horror season, but they're just parting it away with Hocus Pocus.
In the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. Like give me a break. Give me boogity.
I'm sure they'll get to boogity after they do 17 more live action versions of Pinocchio.
Yeah, right. We're gonna get a couple more Peter Pans in there.
Oh God, yeah. Ugh, anything but that. Anything but Peter Pan and Robin Hood. I'm good on those for life, folks. Unless Mel Brooks wants to do another Robin Hood, I'm out.
Yeah, that's the only one.
Totally out on the whole concept, the whole character. But I'm thoroughly in on Johnny Tsunami in whatever way Disney wants to bring him back, whatever shape or form.
No.
However it happens, I am so there, and I would love to see the original Johnny Capahala back. Whatever you want to do, Disney Channel, Disney DCOM multiverse, any of it, I'm just happy. I would love it. And I would love to see Yuji Okamoto come back, because I also thought an interesting thing would be if Johnny had a kid that was very tight and bonded with his father, and they have to find a way to sort of connect. And like, what could that cross section be? If the kid's not into surfing, he's not into snowboarding, and Johnny Capahala himself is not into whatever the,
Computers.
software, computers. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, he would have a son that's a computer geek that wants to be like that grandfather, his father.
Yeah, it's super fun.
That could be interesting.
That
So
sounds
Johnny
like a really
Tsunami, the
boring
software,
movie.
but yeah, right. They're just sitting, it's war games,
Yeah.
just sitting in front of a fucking computer the whole time. Well, hey,
Well, that's terrible.
Let's ski board.
Yeah.
Let's
Well, that's a
ski
terrible idea. Let's go out on that one.
I say you keep the skiing into it, or give me the Point Break. Give me the, like, Johnny became a cop and now he's got to get back into snowboarding to infiltrate this group of snowboarding bank robbers or snowboarding super terrorists or whatever you want to call them.
Super terrorists.
Yeah, super terrorists. Like,
All I
Give
can
me
think of is
their
that meme. All I can think of is that meme of Steve Buscemi trying to look cool as an old guy.
What's up,
Oh, as a
fellow
kid.
kids?
What's up, fellow kids? Yeah.
What's up, fellow kid? No, but I would love Johnny Campahala just pointing his gun into the sky and unloading a whole clip and screaming at the top of his lungs. And Johnny Campahala saying, "What's wrong with you? I am an FBI agent." We all have our favorite Point Break lines. Maybe they're not all the same. But it is just about out of time here, folks. So before we wrap it up, is there anything you guys have got coming up in the works you want to let the people at home know about? I see Ian shaking his head. He's on winter holiday. Steven Zangief Anderson, anything exciting coming?
Well, if again, I said it last time, I'll say it again this time. If you like music from the 2000s, because that's essentially what we are as 2000s pop punk. Go ahead and check out Crash Romeo, New Jersey-based band Crash Romeo, at any place you get music.
Well, definitely going to be doing that after the show.
Yeah.
So the VCR is going to be taking a couple weeks off, folks. We will be back very soon with the clip show and a slightly new and improved format for you guys to up the quality of the viewing experience. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, the best way to help is to smash that like button, leave a comment telling us what movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode of VCR Redux. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow Fandom Spotlight, the Hollow 9 Network, and Pop Culture Punk. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we'll see you at the movies.